Hey guys, what's up? Running a marathon could be really hard, but don't panic because I've got 5 awesome tips that I wish I knew before I did my first marathon. Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to Fordy Runs. If this is your first time at Fordy Runs, make sure you smash that pink button down there that says subscribe on it. Go to our Facebook page and join the Fordy Runs running community, and check out the description, there's loads of cool stuff down there as well. Right, so running that marathon, it's not going to be an easy thing, we all know that. But I thought it'd be cool to ask the running community out there, so I went on the Facebook groups and stuff like that, for their #1 tip that they wish they knew before they set off on those 26.2 miles. So here's their sort of top 5 that we come up with. So the first tip was to think that it's all about finishing and not the time, which makes a lot of sense to me. If this is your first marathon, yeah, we want a time and we want to, set ourselves a goal. But I spoke about it in another video. You want to set yourself a realistic goal. But personally, my first marathon, it was all about finishing. And you know what? That's not a bad bit of advice. The second tip that was really popular was that the fact that the marathon actually starts at mile 20. Now I can really resonate with this. If you've been in London or you've done London, you'll know exactly what I'm about to say. When you get to Canary Wharf, it almost like starts there, the London Marathon, because it's like 19 odd miles, and you kind of then make the turn back to like the City of London. You've got to go to the West End, and that's around that sort of 20 miles. So it's actually a really good tip to just sort of build up to that 20 mile. That's like almost like warming up, and then the sort of battle starts at mile 20. So think about your marathon like that. Think about the first 20 miles as basically a warm up. Third tip is to stick to what you did in your training. Now I understand why people recommended this actually, because when you're out on the course, you'll notice that people are giving out stuff, jelly babies, jelly beans, oranges, and all this kind of stuff, and you could be tempted to take that. That could have disastrous effects. There may be gels out there you've not tried, or you might be drinking at different points. All other different things actually, and there's loads of different sort of conundrums we could come up with. But the point is just try and stick as best you can to what you did during your training when you're out there actually running, because any sort of deviation of that can make the wheels fall off a little bit. So it's actually quite a good tip. So the next tip is to make sure you are absolutely covered in Vaseline and Body Glide. Now I can see why the guys actually recommended this and why it was so popular, because chafing and all that business is a nightmare. And it's particularly if it was hot, like London last year was unbelievable. But you want to make sure that you really stick on enough Vaseline, enough Body Glide, probably more than you think, because it can be really painful when you get sort of mile 20 and things like that. And you start chafing up, especially like a little tip someone told me was to put it in between your toes, Vaseline. Vaseline can mark your clothes, that's the only thing I would say, so maybe use the Body Glide where there's like clothes you want to keep, but the rest of it just use Vaseline. But stick as much as you can on your body. Right, next one, and this was another popular one, even though it seems pretty obvious, and you might have even heard it, but it was popular, that's why I wanted to mention it, and that's to put your name on your vest. Now it's hard with charity vests and stuff like that, but you really need to include your name somewhere or your nickname somewhere. So as you're running along, people can see you and they can shout at you and they can cheer you on, and it really motivates you and it really helps you, especially when you say you get to that mile 20 and it really all starts. To feel that love and the support as you're going around as people are cheering your name, it really will make a big difference on the day. Number 5, and the most popular tip that everybody said when I asked them, was not to start too fast. Now you've probably heard this a million times, but you really need to do this. And I started too fast, and I know people who've done marathons and they all start too fast. So you may have heard it, and you might think about it, and then you might get to the start line. You really need to make sure you don't start too fast. And even thinking, oh, this is going to be a little bit slower, just even going back a little bit slower than that, because the adrenaline, everything, the crowds, you'll make you go faster. So it is the top tip from everybody who I asked the question, what would you tell yourself before you went out and done your first marathon, was not to start too fast. So there you go guys, there's the 5 sort of top tips that people would give themselves, if that makes any sense. My biggest tip for you is to enjoy it. It's really hard when you're out there, and it is tough, but just try and enjoy it and remember to smile. That's my biggest tip to you. I didn't smile enough on my first marathon, and it really does make a big difference. But that's it. There you go. 5 tips. Thanks to the running community for providing me with those today. It does always help. But that's it from me. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave me today. Say the button's down there. Hit me up with some comments. Leave some tips down there as well for people. Always interested to hear other tips. And I'll catch you guys later.